Everyone, welcome. We have our poet Irving Jones from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, USA today, and we look forward to a very engaging event with him. He is a co-author in our book Change is the Only Constant and is a very knowledgeable person and has written the poem wonderfully, and let's hear it from him in his words. Mr. Jonas, namaste from India.
Hi,
How
fine.
good to see you today. So let's begin with what led you to write the poem which you published with us when change is the only constant. There must be a story behind it, I'm sure.
Yes, there is. Um, I in case you didn't know, I am a teacher, an art teacher, um, and we spent several years studying art, the history of art, painting, and one of the people that we studied in depth was Van Gogh. And there are several reasons behind this. And the reason that they taught us basically, he had a way of painting the real life of the time. He painted the life of the average working French person or Belgian person. It was how life was in Europe. No matter how painful it was, that's what he painted it like. For example, in the US, you wouldn't see a postman sitting even near, at least in these days, even near a prostitute. But in those days, he could have that as a friend. He could be a person who led a respectable family. In fact, Van Gogh used the members of the postman Roland's family as models because he couldn't find enough models and he couldn't afford them, even if he could find them. And models were difficult to get back then because people didn't like posing for paintings. And also, like I said, the cost. This is the day before the camera, really. I mean, you had daguerreotypes and a few other things, and they were just beginning, but it took long hours to even get the person to sit before a camera because they had to be very, very still. So this was a challenge to Van Gogh. And but he painted life the way it was, and this is what inspired the poem. And if you want, I can read it, or if you already have it, then
Do you have the book with you in which it's published?
um yeah I don't have the book with me, but I do have a copy of the poem, and I can read it.
Oh, it will be good to hear you read it. For the viewers, this is the book in which the poem is
Changes the
published,
only.
and we love to hear you recite the poem. Yes.
Okay, here we go. The Postman Roland, a painting by Vincent van Gogh. Post is prominently displayed on the hat. The hat is blue, with the respect and dignity according to his position. A man of importance at this time, before cellular phones, cathode ray tubes, and plastic. The fine blue uniform, the well-defined texture of the strokes, his beard prominently displayed. A just reward for the carriers of the letters of Van Gogh.
Wow, that has a depth behind the whole idea behind the postman, the blue uniform, like how you've mentioned. I believe that used to be the standard uniform of a postman who used to, in particular time, at least in India, it is brown, and still remains to be brown. And when we see the postman arrive at a doorstep, it is such a euphoria to know that okay, someone's got a letter. And that used to be how it was in a particular time. Even today, though it is there, though it's been diluted a little bit with email, which is the change, I believe, that has come across over the years, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
how, what I'd like to know from you, how do you, what is your uh, thoughts about the adaptations that human life has to make with time? How, what do you feel? What do you think about that?
It's social production. Like I said, there are no cameras in that period, not the way we know. We have video, we have commo, we can actually video anything and send it wherever. Um, we even can get into space and bring a person back. We're almost on the verge of actually, the banks have actually financed space exploration so they can build a motel or a hotel that circles the Earth, and they're going to put $1.9 trillion behind it. It's a different world, and it involves a lot of video and a lot of audio and a constant quick communication all the way, all the time. And that in itself changes. The pandemic was even affected by it because for the first time people had to order right off of their equipment off the computers and wait for the guy to deliver it right at the door. People couldn't go to the supermarkets and be around each other. It enables us to reach out to each other, and that in and of itself makes it difficult to have the society that Van Gogh had. We will never understand, and he was an abstinence user. Not that in and of itself caused him to go down, but when you have a mental problem and you have abstinence, that even takes it worse. But the most important thing that Van Gogh was, once again, is communication. Van Gogh was one of the first painters to be able to put down his life in words. He put it down in letters, sent it to his brother. And constantly, because of that communication, we have an idea of what he went through and what a painter goes through and what an artist goes through trying to create the art. And that is the key, most important thing that Van Gogh contributed, the letters themselves.
And I've got a new respect for Van Gogh now after listening to you. I would really look into the letters written by, I think there's a book in that name, Letters by Van Gogh. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
correct me if I'm wrong here. I think that
Sure.
I'll look that up. And also, I myself have this passion of writing postcards and making pen friends. So I do know a little bit about how it feels to be exchanging postcards and writing postcards to people who you do not really know personally, but still you feel a sense of freedom, a sense of a mode of expression which is inexplainable. How you just have to experience that to be able to understand how it feels to write letters and express oneself, which otherwise you're not able to do in your environment or those who you know. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think about that? Have you had the opportunity to write letters across to pen friends or?
Oh yes, we do that all the time. The email and the chat have provided a wonderful opportunity to once again write, and of course use the technology quickly to communicate to wherever, whomever, and constant emailing and constant letter writing. Once again, it's become popular again. Before it was the only way, and then you had to wait 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or maybe a month because you had a transportation problem in addition to the letter writing. You had to write the letter down on paper, you had to post it, and then you had to wait to the mail. Actually, and some of the mail was carried by coach, and that coach would take, I don't know how many days and months to get it to where it was supposed to do.
Yes, that wait itself used to be really, really exciting. Oh, it's going to come. It's going to come. I do relate with that. So we have a friend here. He compliments your poems, saying you have a wonderful cadence to your reading. It made this piece even more palpable and poignant.
I'd like to thank him. And then you mentioned the letters and communication. I kept thinking about Solomon Northup and the one letter that got through, and how they had to get it up there. And how you were mentioning about the time. You were mentioning about the time, and it was the one letter that made them respond to try to get him away from slavery, and how they had to go down and get him. And that was the whole thing about the speed of the communication. Now, of course, you with an email, you can be there in a matter of seconds.
So you shared that you have been a teacher and have a specialty in history of arts. Uh,
Yes.
so would you like to shed more light about except painting and communication, like how you shared, what exactly interests you and what exactly you find? Do you mean literary arts when you say arts, or is it another form of art except painting?
Um, Literary art is poetry.
Okay.
That's the reality. The art of the spoken word, and that's what we do throughout language, and it is throughout any language, no matter what language you communicate in. It's the art of the spoken word, the art of writing down the spoken word in the poetic rhythmic cadence. And that's important. That lays the basis, as far as I'm concerned, for short stories and novels and everything else that we have created from that art. And that art is what we've done now. And I was just looking up a thing by Nam June Paya, is we've merged the art of, and he did it creatively, we've merged the visual art, the audio visual, the art that we paint, and the fine art with this literary art. And then in a way we have, because of the television and because of technology, we have been able to disseminate this art clear across the world. We've got people who now do short takes and do short videos and do any number of things with the camera, both still and video. Things have improved because of pixels. We can do more now, and so it's in fact, speaking of Van Gogh, the Philadelphia Art Museum is doing a live show in which they engulf you with Van Gogh's paintings. So it's a wonderful thing that we can do now, and it merges both forms, both the visual art along with the literary art. And when you're looking, even if you're looking at at the 6 o'clock news, that still sees that same merger of those two art forms, at least in my opinion.
Thank you so much for that. And I like to recite a poem that I myself wrote very recently. Maybe you can give me your opinion, how you find it, and what do you think? Because it's my privilege to be able to share a poem with somebody who is so knowledgeable and has been a teacher of arts, literally. So the name of the poem is Manifestation, and this is how it goes. Wind in thy thoughts, forces abreast. Lives cherish, then perish in fire. Time tails rest. Where's once sought, where the stead foot surest. Space, thought's origin, actions tread best. Here on, all the verses are going to jumble themselves. I'll recite the second and then the third and then the fourth. Wind in thy thoughts, where they step foot surest. Space, thought's origin, time tails rest. Where once sought, actions tread best. Lives cherish then perish in fire, forces abreast. Well, that's about it.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also write some poetry when I have some time in hand, and I just feel like I have this intuition when I need to write a poem. It's like how people say the inner voice, what I call my inner voice. When I pick up a pen, there is an inner voice which urges me to pen down a poem. How about you? Is there an inner voice, or is it just there? What's it
Yeah,
triggered by?
I think I feel that inner voice. At first, sometimes it's a line, sometimes it's something that has struck me, a situation, and so I say I got to sit down and so you sit down and write. That's the way it is.
Mhm. So, is there? You've had a long life behind you. So, is there something that I can learn from you? Is there any wisdom that you'd like to give me about any teaching or any learning that I should keep in mind when I'm ahead of me? Since I'd like to ask you that.
Well, about the only thing I can hope for is life itself is important. Therefore, I would tell you to strive for a long life so you can get the work done.
Okay. Okay.
And that's it.
It's such a privilege and a pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Jones. I must confess that. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience today?
No, no, no. That's it. That's it.
Okay. All right, then I'd like to just confirm with you. Is it all right with you if I share this on social media and on YouTube and other mediums, the video that we have today?
Oh, yes, you can share this video. You can share this video with Poet's Choice. I have no problems with that. Poetry is something I support, and sure.
Thank you. Okay, so with that, I'd like to express my gratitude to everyone who has attended our show today. And I'd like to express my gratitude to you for dedicating the time for coming live with us, and to Instagram for giving us a platform in this digital era which we are living in to be able to connect with each other. And with that, if there isn't anything else, I don't see any questions from the audience. So unless if there would have been, I would have put it across to you. Since
Mhm.
there isn't anything, I'd like to call it day, and we'll conclude this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you.